You walked into the store for milk. You walked out $47 lighter, holding things you don't remember picking up. That wasn't your willpower failing, it was engineering. For the last 60 years, a hidden industry has been tuning the air inside retail stores to override your decision making. And in 2026, it has gotten precise enough that the phrase background music is a lie. There is no background. The sound is the salesman. In the next 9 minutes, I'm breaking down exactly how it works. The decibel band they target, the BPM that controls your walking speed, the frequencies that mimic safe environments to quiet your prefrontal cortex, and the new biometric systems that retune the soundscape in real time based on who's standing in the aisle. By the end, you'll either feel paranoid or you'll feel armed. Both are useful. Walk into any supermarket and actually listen. You can't hear the freezer compressors. You can't hear your own footsteps slapping the tile. You can't hear the squeaky cart 3 aisles over. That's not accident. That's masking. Retail environments deliberately hold ambient sound somewhere around 70 to 75 decibels, loud enough to bury the mechanical hum of HVAC, refrigeration, and human movement, but quiet enough that you don't consciously register the music as music. Too quiet, and your brain locks onto every stressor in the room. Too loud, and you leave faster. In that sweet spot window, your cortisol drops, your shoulders unclench, and your nervous system reads the store as a safe place. That's stage 1. Before they sell you anything, they have to sedate you. Now the tempo. And this part isn't conspiracy theory, it's published research. In 1982, a marketing professor named Ronald Milliman ran a controlled study in a Texas supermarket. Slow music, under 72 beats per minute, slowed shoppers down. Sales went up roughly 38% over the faster condition. Fast music sped them up. Sales dropped. Modern retailers built a science on top of that one finding. The track at the entrance is brighter and faster. That's the hook to pull you off the sidewalk and into the building. As you move inward, the BPM drops. By the time you're in the high-margin center aisles and prepared foods, cosmetics, wine, the music is dragging at 60 to 70 BPM, just under your resting heart rate. You unconsciously slow your walk to match. Every extra minute you spend in those aisles statistically converts to extra spend. In 2026, the bigger chains have layered directional speaker arrays into the ceiling grid, invisible rooms of sound. You don't notice the transition, but as you cross from cereal into wine, the texture and tempo shift to keep you in dwell mode. Here's where it gets uglier. Certain frequency ranges, pink noise, low ambient pads, slow harmonic drones, mimic environments your nervous system evolved to read as safe. Wind through trees, distant water, low human voices. When your auditory cortex processes those frequencies, your amygdala stops scanning for threats, and your prefrontal cortex, the part that asks, "Do I actually need this?" gets quieter. You don't become stupider. You become less skeptical. There's a difference. They exploit the difference. The newer move is what the industry calls the nostalgia layer. AI tools can now generate music that sounds vaguely familiar without matching any copyrighted song, a soft echo of late 90s pop for the 30-somethings, a hint of 70s soft rock for the boomers. Your brain reaches for a memory, doesn't quite find one, and fills the gap with a small dopamine release. That feeling, that vague, pleasant warmth, is the emotional anchor they want welded to the brand and to the basket in your hand. This part didn't exist 5 years ago. Larger chains are now piloting in-store sensor networks, overhead cameras, foot traffic mats, thermal sensors that read crowd density and ambient body temperature. That data feeds a central audio engine in real time. Crowd thins out at 3 p.m. The system bumps the BPM up 4 or 5 beats to inject energy. Density spikes at 6 p.m. It drops the tempo and warms the EQ to slow the rush and prevent panic exits. Pilots in Asia and the US are testing facial recognition-driven audio that shifts the texture of the soundscape based on the demographic skew of who's actually in the building. Teenagers walk in, the room tilts younger. Older shoppers arrive, it tilts back. And fatigue detection is real. If the system reads patterns that signal a shopper is about to leave, not lingering, but giving up, it pushes the frequencies into a brighter, more stimulating range to hold you for another 2 or 3 minutes. 2 or 3 minutes is a basket item. Here's where I want to be straight with you. Some of what's marketed in this space is in deployment, some is in lab, and some is just sold harder than it actually exists. Directional ultrasonic audio is real. Companies like Holosonics have been selling it for years. Speakers that beam sound in a tight column, so only the person standing in one specific spot hears it. In retail, that means a promo message aimed at the shopper in front of the toothpaste shelf without anyone 2 feet away hearing a thing. The framing you sometimes see, sound piped directly into your inner ear without a headset, is overblown. It still uses air conduction. But the targeting is genuinely that precise. The ethical question is simple and ugly. At what point does ambient persuasion become coercion? When you can't hear it, didn't consent to it, and can't opt out by leaving, because every store does it, the word choice starts to bend. So how do you fight it? 3 things, no fluff. 1. Wear earbuds in the store. Even at low volume with your own music, you break the engineered soundscape and force your brain back into active listening. Retailers hate this, that's the tell. 2. Make the list at home. Decision fatigue is the lever every one of these systems pulls. A written list converts shopping from an open-ended dopamine task into a closed checklist task. The soundscape can't hijack a task that's already decided. 3. Time yourself. Set a 15-minute timer when you walk in. The tempo trap only works on shoppers who don't know they're being slowed down. A timer reintroduces conscious tempo control. That's it. The sound isn't going away, the sensors are getting better. But the moment you know the room is talking to you, it stops being able to whisper. If this changed how you'll walk into a store next week, hit subscribe. I do one of these every week, breaking down the systems quietly running your behavior so you can run them back.